Hello there. I have an idea this won't be a very short video because I just woke up. I'm like, football game or therapeutic uh, vocalizations involving polysyllabic words. Let's go with that second one. And I was sitting there nervously squashing this piece of gum, into a cube and making jokes about General Zod being imprisoned in Superman sequel. You know, the three super beings in the old Superman movie before Christopher Reeve got squashed by a horse. Anyways, I make this video that I'm about done with, and I very stupidly throw out a last name, or throw out my best friend's last name, just because I mentioned that he had a Russian heritage. It had something to do with it. You know, I made a joke about, oh, I am the 88-year-old, my 88-year-old aunt's godson, they call it. So I'm like, I don't think it's an Italian thing. Excuse me, cold. I think because they're Russian, and then I said the name with a Russian accent. Okay, like I can do accents. And I'm like, oh, you're an idiot. So this will be a much shorter video. And I'm going to say less interesting, but, that's only because you didn't see the other product. I'm like, I'm not putting that in Movavi and editing out the one name and all that, you know. Not doing it. Maybe this will help my voice if I chew on General Zod for a while. Yes, I got just that leftover bit of cold. It seems to be in my throat. I got a lot more energy and I feel a lot better. My voice is not good. Try some water with it. Oh man. Oh, it's basically talking about how I would like to resolve all the family issues, but I was um I was always that guy, you know. It didn't make any sense. Like anything else, nothing else in our family made any sense, but I was the guy who went through all the physical horror and had CRPS and disease with no cure. And I was the guy that was the support guy, that was giving emotional support to other people in the family. And then when I had the benzo thing, when I needed the support, I found out they kind of got used to me being the support guy, so they didn't know how to do it. And they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it so bad to the point that they do more damage than good, and that I'm afraid that a lot of times I want to call them, but I'm afraid to call them because I feel too vulnerable. And I was thinking about, like, if I can get to the point where I'm off of benzos and I'm strong emotionally again, where I can be that guy that sticks his neck out, or be the guy that can be vulnerable and talk and, like, pat my cheek, let me have it, and be able to take the hits. That I would like to resolve all the family conflicts that I have. And I tried to do that, like with my nephew and my younger sister, who I just got estranged from. And but really, we haven't maintained contact. My sister didn't want to talk to me on the phone. My younger sister, she's like, I'm more of a texting sort of person. It's like, that's because you're a woman and you got small hands and you can do the two thumbs things. I have large hands that are not built for that. I don't have one of those big phones either. So, but in the first video, I showed you my ridiculous bottle of, those are 100 milligram gabapentins or Neurotins. And, they're just a few prescriptions thrown into a giant bottle for scale. A pack of gum. No, I'll just use a regular pill bottle. And that's what regular pill bottles like. Then I counted out I'm not going to do it again, but I counted out my diazepams, and I'm due to get a prescription on Christmas Eve, which I asked the aid worker that was in here yesterday morning, and she was working on Christmas Eve, and she's pretty reliable. Though she's the one with the indescribable voice. And so I was like, counted out. I was like, well, I got 22 pills left over. So I've been tapering this month. Not, I would say, I would guesstimate at 24% taper, maybe, I don't know, you know. But yeah, I'm 22 pills ahead right now. And I don't know, I'm kind of disoriented. I haven't eaten for 24 hours. I'm disoriented enough to put people's names on the internet, that are good to me. Their last names. And yeah, that was always weird. It's like I didn't realize that I was like I was the emotional support guy. So I was the guy that would be calling people and be like, how you doing? How you feeling? And then people would throw their problems on me when I got CRPS and an incurable disease. And then like when the benzo thing developed, and I was thinking about when that actually developed, and it's like my memory is so bad, just as far as, it's not bad as far as events, it's bad as far as putting them in order chronologically, but it could have been early 2017 when I first got my legal prescription for Xanax, or it could have been 2016. It was one or the other. My parents died in 2015. But I know there's a video of me, that's my hidden video, which I got in another account, because it's that leaked therapy tape thing, which, it's supposed to have confidentiality, but my dumb ass gave it to somebody. And that's all repeats for y'all, but some of you have actually seen it, so maybe 2, 3 of you. Anyways, I mentioned the fact that I'm taking Xanax in it, and I wouldn't be mentioning that fact, even with confidentiality, if it was an illegal act that I was doing. Because they would be like, where are you getting that Xanax, son? And so I'm not sure how long I've been a dependent. See, that's where my head's at. I knew I mixed that up in another video where I used the word addicted. It's like I'm not addicted, I'm physically dependent. The difference is I don't want those things to the point where I'm not taking them. I'm not playing any games with this shit. It's not a game. It's not like, well, I'm just telling myself I'm not addicted to them by... No, if I had cigarettes here, I would smoke them all. Eventually, they would all get smoked. I wouldn't be able to make a pile of 22 cigarettes and be like, here's 22 cigarettes that I've got. I'll just set aside and not touch them. No. So it's not some kind of mental game I'm playing with myself, or I'm just kidding myself. but I do get mixed up and confused, and it's because um, I, I'll give her credit again. Benzo Terror explained to me the difference between physical dependence and addiction, because she didn't like me referring to myself as an addict. She's like, I hate that word. Had a conversation with her and asked her why, and and then I listened to experts on the subject, and I'm like, hey, sure enough, there is a difference. You know, the difference is pretty damn simple if you break it down. Addiction, psychological, physical dependence. It's your body being chemically dependent on something. Physical dependence is like I said, or physical. Let me see if I can get my brain right. I probably need to eat something. Addiction is where your brain is fucking with you, or like say you're an alcoholic and you go by a bar and alcohol has done nothing but cause you grief. The way cigarettes has done nothing but cause me grief in my life and heart shockings, and yet you want them, you know. Like, you pass by those neon lights and you think about how good that, that first beer is going to taste. Or you do what Stephen King did back in the day, where he would play a game with himself and convince himself that he wasn't an alcoholic because he could pour out the last couple of beers out of a case or whatever. He'd drink, get himself all hammered, and then he said that he would pour the beer out. And that way, that showed that he wasn't an alcoholic, And whether it was he that said it or it was a joke that he was repeating, I don't remember, but he said we'll just make it like a random guy. Guy goes into his therapist and said that, I'm a drinker. And the psychologist says, well, how much do you drink? And he looks at him like he's crazy and says, all of it. So he must have heard that, and he's like, well, I'm not drinking all of what I have. I'm pouring it down the drain, so, there's no possibility of me drinking all that in the house. But anyway, this is some game I'm playing where I'm like tricking my mind. Like I don't have an, I don't have an addiction. Look, I'm saving up these pills and I can put these pills aside. Like, no, I couldn't do that with cigarettes. Or I actually do have an addiction. But the difference is real simple. Addiction's up here. And physical dependence down here. Like I recounted about not knowing that I was in withdrawal and having no thoughts about it. I just thought I was losing my mind. I didn't, have any thoughts about taking a pill. I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know what was happening to me. That's physical dependence. But still, a lot of people don't know the difference. But yeah, the cute thing that I was recounting where I screwed up the last video, and I was like, I don't want it. You got to put it in this program. I don't know how to use the YouTube editor program anymore because they keep changing it. And I got to put it in this program, then I got to export it, and then it takes double time to upload it, and it's just a pain in the ass. And there's nothing that great here anyway that I can't repeat. But the thing that I will repeat is on my birthday, I didn't call him, he called me, but he didn't know it was my birthday. But my best friend called me, and he just happened to be driving to Columbus, and he never has any spare time. He's always doing something. So I'm talking to my brother, and my brother forgot it was my birthday too. And my younger brother, and he was talking about his furnace break-in and explaining some technical lingo to, like, I'm a mechanical retard, so yeah, you're wasting your time. If it's not a Phillips screwdriver and a standard screwdriver and the difference between the two, I don't really know a whole lot about anything mechanical. It's not my thing. And anyways, so I'm like, oh, Sam's calling in. Can I get off the phone? He don't talk long. Because he never does. He never has time. But we talked for 47 minutes. And I was like, he was driving to Columbus. And I guess his 88-year-old mother had spent time in Columbus at a relative's house. And they were taking care of her. I assume one of his brothers or sisters. And, I ended the phone call saying, yeah, I'm 52 years old today. And he goes, it's your birthday? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, well, happy birthday. I said, thank you. Then they went and they picked up his mom. And I had told him, like, I feel bad because I got this cold. And I'm, like, in a depression. And I got that card. I gotta call her up and thank her about it because she gave me a card, a $40 check in it. Because she used to be, like I said, my godmother. And that's the Italian Russian thing came in. I'm like, it's a Catholic thing, I guess. Godmothers and godfathers. So she was my godmother, which means I would get extra presents from her and stuff. They have somebody stand for you when you're a baby, and they dip you in the water and at the confirmation, I think. I'm probably mixing that all up. At the baptism, I don't know. I forget all that Catholic stuff. I think confirmation is when you're older. Anyways, she's my godmother is the point. So, and she's still Catholic, so she'll send me a couple of dollars here and there and around my birthday or around Christmas. She's 88 years old. I say that I forget, I'm gonna call her, but I haven't gotten around to it because I've just been in a black mood, just a foul, evil, not good mood. I don't want to spread that around like a cold. And so he goes down there and picks her up, and it's his number on the phone. I'm like, hello, expecting to hear his voice, and it's my aunt, and she doesn't really say hello. She just starts singing me happy birthday, 88 years old. Then everybody in the car, they got me on speakerphone singing me happy birthday. And I started laughing when they were done. And she even did the "and many more" part at the end, 88 years old. It was cute. And I started laughing. I was like, hey, that was awesome. And then she's like, said something like, I love you and I wish you nothing but the best. And I said, I love you guys. I wish you nothing but the best too. And, it was just a short little thing. Nice, relatively happy family. But then I said their last name like a damn moron, so that's why it's just an excuse for me to talk more. Because I was like, well, what do I want to watch? What do I want to do? Do I want to watch a football game? Or do I want to watch, no, do I want, I really do need to eat. Do I want to watch a football game, or do I want to spout a bunch of polysyllabic, therapeutic nonsense at the few people willing to put up with me? I'm like, we'll do number two. That second one sounds better. So, you still got a cold and you're still like depressed. And one thing the video was about is like they were putting me to sleep, so I was watching like old videos that I put up on here from like so I don't I got a real problem with chronology, but I don't think it's been so related. It's just always been that way. Like keeping track of when things happen. I can remember things, but I can't remember when, and I can't remember the order. So that's why I make so many mistakes on here, I think, as far as like that's concerned. But anyways, I'm listening to these things and I'm realizing, like, um, last November 2017. Oh, what am I doing? November 2018 is what the last time that I was getting my teeth taken care of. Then I had the heart thing in 2018 in December. Then I was like, I'm concentrating on my knee. And then when the knee thing fell through, I was probably going to one of my appointments. And I always joke about the one cat screwing me over and knocking over my clock, which is my alarm clock. And I read it wrong, and I had heard that the Warvet with the PTSD was talking a bunch of shit about me, and I was like, well, he's sitting outside right now. I can go out there for 10 minutes and talk to him and maybe squash some of that and explain to him, that I don't got nothing against him personally. I barely know him. And I found out that he didn't have any electricity, and, that he's got a bunch of candles burning up there. And I was like, that's not a good combination. This is just a 4,000 to 5,000 square foot house. And, I said, well, I can put the cord through the window for you so you don't have to run to Arby's to charge your phone. And then it's like, I didn't have to do none of that. It's like I could have just went about my business and left it all alone. It wasn't really the cat's fault. The one that I called the white cat, OCD, or after he disappeared and came back and I grieved his death, I call him the ghost cat. Really wasn't the ghost cat's fault. That's just my fault. It's just the way I was. I was raised by a violent, maybe borderline personality type father and a Christian, selfless mother. And I'm a mixture of those two. And so the mother part took over and was like, you don't have any electricity and you got to do this. Well, I can put a cord out for you so at least you don't have to. This was like in April or May. And so, I'm talking about a plug falling out of this tooth in July of last year. And I lose track of time, and it's like I done gotten involved with his crazy ass, trying to get him within a stone's throw of sanity. And that caused grief because, I'm trying to help these people out down here that I'll just call the Leach family. And, they come back on me. And I'm like, I'm doing everything to keep this guy from burning your house down. So, that really pissed me off. And that was kind of the final straw. Is they not only do they do that, but then they have the person that I like the most in the family who actually got me hooked on Xanax by giving them to me. They put her up to asking me for $40 when I said no on certain terms, $20 limit. And I was like, after that, man, the hell with her, the hell with everybody there. Done. And I was talking about some of that crap. I mean, I don't know. That's why I hate redoing videos. I don't know what I said in this video as opposed to that video. I don't know if I'm repeating myself. I don't know what I'm leaving out. And I haven't eaten for 24 hours. I'm in the process of writing my sleeping schedule because it got screwed up during that time I had a cold. And I got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to a bunch of weird noises upstairs. But I'm working on getting things back to normal, and then all that's left of this cold is this throat thing, as far as I can tell. I don't know if I mentioned that I checked out my toes yesterday, and I did a good job of setting them. So, because I was worried about, like, I would put weight on my toes and my badly mangled toes where I had four toes pointing south and one of them pointing east. So I taped the one that was pointing east. I made it point south to the other broken toe. And I put weight on them yesterday because I've been a slob lately since I've been sick and I keep forgetting to buy detergent. To the point where I actually used hand soap and a dishwashing liquid and washed out a couple items by hand that way. I checked out my toes and I'm like, oh, I did a good job because I was worried about the band-aids not holding, and I put weight on them barefooted and the toe didn't slide apart like it was doing before, and it's like, oh, I did a good job of setting it, you know. And I taped it back up with 3 band-aids, of course, because you can't trust toes. That's the first rule of life. Never trust a toe. And but I was talking about, like, talking to on the 20th. I talked to the caseworker guy that's gonna try to help me move out here, and I'm gonna be like, I will take it past dead honest. I'm like gonna maybe even embellish my mental state a little bit, as far as, like, I might not even be embellishing. It's kind of hard to even the most honest among us have a hard time at self-analysis and knowing where we're at psychologically if we spend too much time alone. So it might not even be embellishment, but just let them know that I am fucked in the head right now. And that I'm in, I'm just going to be, like, not prideful at all, completely humble, and like, I don't know if I can do this. And I think I also talked about this thing's worth $2,000 to $2,300 in the corner over here. I only paid $565 for it. I might not move that at all because it accelerates too fast anyway. I don't know if I can ever master it, and I can always buy another one. Sorry about the voice again. But the other one I can take apart, and I can move that really easy. But this will take a U-Haul or somebody with a pickup truck, or and I don't know many people. So, and when I move here, I just want to leave everything here. Leave all this stuff. Got bad juju on it as far as I'm concerned, except for my buddy right here. Tap tap, and a few. Of course, I'm gonna take my personal items, but I'm taking very little out of here, and my rent's gonna be paid up till January. It would be cool to be living somewhere else in February, but if I have to wait out the winter in isolation and in this place, I can focus on stacking them bennies, baby. Saving that money. I got $2,500 right now, and because I can replace all this crap that I don't want to take. And I don't mind the financial loss. I'm not. What I mind is the loss of sanity from living here, the scars and the memories, and the damage done to my body here. Because I'm pretty sure if I didn't have to deal with all the bullshit that went down this building because of having a bad landlord, that I'd probably have more of my teeth. I probably would have gotten something done with this knee already. And the toes are healing up nicely, but the broken toe thing never happens either. So I left a good chunk of my sanity and my health in this building by living here. And the benzo dependency helped stick me here too. Because when you're going through that, when I was trying to withdraw here like a moron, and me being the support guy, I didn't have. That's what I didn't understand though, is like, I was already seeing therapists and stuff and explaining what was going on here to them, and everybody would say, you just have to move, you need to move, but they would never set me up with anybody until recently. They set me up with this caseworker to help me move. It's like, why didn't you do that then? I could have probably got extra help because this was an active drug house that the cops knew about. It's like, why not then? So that part I don't understand. Um, yeah. But yeah, I did my toast wrong when I had my toast on my last video. I didn't drink, you know. Clicking, I would say we should click glasses together. And I'll hold it there a little longer in case you're drinking something. Then I didn't drink. That was like a psych. So here's to being benzo free to anybody that's still suffering with that shit. Clink. I'm pretty determined to make that happen, and it's just a win for me. I'm tapering while I'm in here, and it's not for show. It's like, I guess it's sort of a faith deal, you know? It's like, I'm getting out of here, and I'm getting off benzos, and I'm going to even taper while I'm in here. And that's why I counted out my pills on camera, which I might be able to snip that off and put that part of it on the end of this, you know? What the hell? You know, it's just, I don't know how long I've been taking them on the rig. You know how long it's been a dependency. I don't remember what year it was when I felt that withdrawal and I didn't know what it was. I thought I was just going crazy. I don't remember that. I don't remember, it was either 2017 or 2016 when I got my first legal prescription. But I'm positive that I was already dependent by 2016, a year after my parents' death. So 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, that's 4 years. And I don't want there to be a 5-year thing. You know, I was taking them longer than that, but I was just getting them here and there. I was just I was in quicksand and didn't know it. So it was like a slow process. It wasn't like, you know, I was just immediately popping them every day. I would just get a few here and there. Then I would get a few more here and there. And then, you know, like I said in the other video, then I started getting them at 10 strips at a time. And just getting a strip of 10 and paying my aunt for them. And, you know, she was always saying, you know, I don't want you to get addicted to these things now. But just because it doesn't no one any good, I made sure not to blame her. Or made sure she didn't blame herself for that. And I said, man, you didn't force me to take those things. But really, like, a lot of times I would go to her house and she would just reach in her drawer and pull out a strip and throw them down on the table. And I remember, like, my brother was an alcoholic. I remember distinctly sitting in a car with him when I was very young. And her saying, look what I got for you. And then she danced her fingers over a six-pack and said, 6 little Budweisers. And I remember my brother saying, she was the one, I'm talking about my older brother who had the bad alcoholism. She was the one that started me on that shit, you know. So maybe I'm being a Pollyanna again and not seeing reality for reality and thinking better of people than I should, having better expectations of people than I should. I remember my brother, I never forget the way my brother looked at that beer. And I had that moment I was talking about. I can actually use the pill bottle. Where I only had 12 of these things left. And I opened up the bottle and I looked at the 90 of them. and I was glad and hateful at the same time. I was glad to have him, and I hated him at the same time because knew what would have happened if I didn't have him. And that's like, I remember looking at my brother's face, and it was a much more complicated look. It was a look of hate, fear, longing, love, even. I'll never forget the look on my brother's face. I was sitting beside him in the back seat, and I don't remember where the beer was exactly, but I just remember looking at my brother's face and seeing that addiction on his face, and how horrible it was. As far as I know, he's still sober, and that's why I don't pursue a relationship with him, is because he smokes pot now instead of drinking alcohol, and it's more important for him to stay sober than I reconnected with him briefly when our parents died, because I wanted him to get. I didn't know how much insurance money. Nobody in the family would do anything about it. I'm like, well, there's just this insurance policy, and I'm calling the company, and they won't tell how much it's worth. We don't know how much it's worth, And everybody was kind of like blowing it off. I had a fight with my older sister, 27, 17 sister over it on the phone, like, quit nagging me about it, And I'm like, but it's free money. Everybody in the family is poor. We don't know how much it is. Now it turned out to be only $3,600. So, we had 6 siblings to divide it amongst, so $600 a piece roughly. And, $3,600 neighborhood, so roughly. Everybody got a check for $600. Some of them, the family members, some of my brothers and sisters thanked me, some didn't. Some I didn't even talk to. One of them I talked to their significant other and set everything up through their significant other. I didn't even talk to my sister Carrie. It's just a lot, it's just a painful family history there, and that's why, like, with my older brother, it's like we reconnected, went fishing. I think the one time after that, had some conversations on the phone, but he didn't even have his own phone. I'd have to talk to his old lady, who's his common law wife, and been with him forever. They're not officially married, I don't think. And so every time I'd call him, I wouldn't be I'd have to talk to her, and I don't like her at all. Never did. And I'm like, I got to thinking, and I'm like, we had some conversations while we were fishing, and it's like, he hasn't really dealt with the whole childhood things. He referred to our parents as good parents, and I'm like, he got treated the worst out of all of us because he was the oldest. More was expected of him, and he got the full brunt of my father's madness. You know. So he hasn't dealt with that shit yet, but he's sober and he's not killing himself with alcohol. It's like, just let it go. Another, like, brother lost. Shoot. See, the other video, I ended with the happy story of the 88-year-old aunt of mine singing me happy birthday, and adding the and many more. But yeah, it's been some shit show of a life. And there's sort of something I've been keeping secret from y'all. I've been keeping it secret because I heard them say it, that they consider that the biggest failure of their life, and I don't like I said, there's no reason for people to feel bad if they don't have to feel bad. It's just something that happened. It's just the way things worked out. But yeah, it sort of set me up for moving in here and my life totally being ruined. So I just kind of don't talk about it, you know. Um, but out of the ashes, the phoenix may rise. So I can't have a good life or an enjoyable life, but I can have a triumphant one. And I can find peace, not happiness. I I don't know if I'll ever be able to write on guitar or to write stories again. Um, when I'm clean, I don't know. But that's that's why you keep going is you don't know what the future holds. Just because since I've been on here, it's been bad, 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 and to the point where I'm gonna quit mentioning his name, but he was like he almost it's Schadenfreude, you know. It's a German word for taking pleasure in the misery of others. But he was like, it almost makes me, it's like enjoyable to listen to um, your stories because it just makes me feel better about my own life. And because I think I said something like, and he was like, what bad thing doesn't happen to you? You know, it's like, so it's been a pretty consistent bad, 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 bad. A couple of good things sprinkled here and there just to, you know, l- you know, there's in the book, The Drawing of the Three, Stephen King again. Um, there's a part in there like Lucy always would pull the football away from Charlie Brown and not let him kick it. But if he really wanted to fuck the kid up, the way the book goes, she would let him kick it a couple of times, not in any predictable way, just randomly. So like randomly, there's a good thing sprinkled in there that happens, and yeah. So randomly, a good thing will be sprinkled in there with all the bad stuff that all the hornets through the ceiling, and the meth heads and the crackheads through the ceiling, and the pit bull right now currently the pit bull Sharpei mix through the ceiling and out in the yard in little piles, and Stampy and all the other through the ceiling nonsense. And yeah, so yeah, that kind of it. But you don't know about life, man. That's why I'm hanging in there. It's part of it is it's like I want to make all these hours and all these videos made worthwhile because I want to make a if I can do it, you can do it type of video where I'm like, I can't expect anyone to listen to hours and hours of me prattling on. It's ridiculous to expect that of anybody, but it's there, and I can even work out a summation, you know, when I'm off of benzos, and I want to make it worthwhile, all the suffering and stuff, because I can at least leave behind a document that's encouragement for other people trying to get off of this pernicious, evil fucking substance. Where like you're like, look at all this shit that happened to this guy, man. He was actually in withdrawal, dealing with a full blown meth business. You know, I've already said that in another video, and I'm being redundant. See, sometimes I realize it, sometimes I don't. I often wonder how redundant I am, and I realize that I don't have a lot of viewers left. So to us few that are left hanging in there, and part of that is like redundancy, maybe too depressing, too boring, to hearing the same stuff over and over again. I mean, I don't know. I can't keep coming up with new catastrophes for y'all all the time. I mean, I showed true commitment when I broke my toe and bent it in my head, and I put a picture on the internet of it, pointing the wrong way and all bloody, and played Bach's Toccata del Fugue, the traditional and most famous horror music ever made. That wasn't part of a movie theme song, and had 4 notes in it, like do 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 do, you know, the Halloween theme. Oh, where'd my glasses go? There they are. God damn it, come back. 46 minutes. See, this didn't seem that long since I had to wipe out the first video that I made. But yeah. So yeah. I mean, that was always my intention, is to put something inspirational about, have like a warning to people about benzodiazepines. And I'm not reaching much of an audience right now, but you never know. Who wants to feel bad, you know? It's like I watched Incredibly Well Done. It made CSI Special Victims Unit look like a cartoon. And I'm not talking about graphicness, I'm just talking about the realness of it. You know, that show, so popular, SVU, Special Victims Unit thing. But it's kind of like you kind of can see where it's playing on your emotions, and they got an hour to work with and stuff. It's different when you're watching like a whole series, but this is a Netflix series called Unbelievable, and it centers around a serial rapist and how they're trying to catch a serial rapist. But I don't know if I can recommend that to anybody, just because, man, it was just very affecting, very dark. And, you know, it had like warnings about graphicness in it, but graphic depictions of, you know, rape and stuff. And it's like, well, I hope not. And it didn't really. I mean, it wasn't any different, you know, except for in realism and the punch that it packed. Like I said, it made Special Victims Unit seem like a cartoon. Like, I can't recommend that to nobody. And it's like watching me, it was probably like that. It's like God, it's hard, depressing shit to watch. You know, if you have any empathy to watch a fellow human being suffer, but maybe that'll all change. And if I can turn this into a triumph somehow, instead of just a catalog of suffering and just some old wizened, however that word's pronounced, guy drinking coffee, laying in bed, shirtless and bald-pated. But I'm gonna do that. And I got the plan worked out, like I said, with a professional. And I have to get back online and get back in touch with reality after having this disorienting cold where I'm just sleeping weird hours and everything. And I have to see about this tooth, and I don't have much hope for you, tooth. You might be going to the Great Tooth Graveyard in the sky, where Tooth Fairy is, waiting for you to usher you through the pearly gates. The pearly gates, I guess, would be like a mouth in tooth heaven. That twinkles like on the toothpaste commercials, where whitener is never needed. That beautiful, beautiful place called Tooth Heaven. But anyways, that's all I wanted to do anyway. Is I didn't know I was going to have to use this as a therapy platform and make these type of things. I never saw that coming. I thought, well, if I can go from a full milligram of Xanax, the most powerful benzo, and drop it down to a quarter milligram in like a month and a half, this will probably take like 3 or 4 months. I didn't know that life would get in the way, and that it would turn into some kind of guy drowning, but somehow managing to keep his head above water. And you're just, after a while, that might be hard to watch. Or maybe I'm just redundant and don't realize it. And that's why the dwindling viewership. But I think it's more the unbelievable thing. It's like it's just dark material. And hey, who the hell wants to be? Life's hard enough, man. Who wants to watch some depressing crap on the computer? I can turn it around, you see. I think there should be something said for, yeah, it's depressing, yeah, it's rough watching another human being suffer, but there should be something to say for that person not quitting. Especially when I can look you in the eye and tell you, man, that I do not fear death. That I have responsibilities here in this life. I'm gonna look in the eye. I'm gonna look you in the eye. I do not fear death. I have responsibilities in this life that to keep going for other people. But man, I'd already be gone. If yeah, I don't like the whole idea of swallowing pills. But I keep trying and I don't quit, and that's got to be worth something. And I'm still nice and kind to people, and I still think about others, and not totally self-absorbed. It's just the platform makes it seem that way because it's just me talking about me. I can't talk about you. I don't know you that well. I can't have a conversation with you. You won't ever talk back to me through this microphone. And thank you, because that would freak me out if you could do that. This is not, I have a video saying Massillon, Ohio equals Derry, Maine. And that was one of the videos I went back and examined. And I was like, what's next? Voices coming up through the drain, clowns in the shadows, when things because things just kept going wrong. And yeah, so I still, like, my brothers called me in the afternoon, and he did it in his own way, but expressed gratitude for having me as a brother. Yesterday afternoon, and he gave me a thank you, an unspecified thank you, but he was waiting for the furnace people to show up to fix his furnace. And he had a case of nerves or something, and he was grateful for me being there for him. Of course I'm going to be there for him. And of course I'm not going to take that easy way out. Even though for me it is actually the easy. They always say the easy way out, and I've heard people say, well, that's what people fear is non-existence, and death and all that. And I'm like, why would you be afraid of that? Why would you be afraid if death is just sleep? Why would you be afraid of that? If death is some sort of transition, the only reason why you'd be afraid of that is if you were expecting some sort of hellish retribution for the evil that you've wrought. And that is one of the rewards of being a righteous person, is I can walk up to God and talk to him in the face and be like, look, dude, this is the hand you dealt me. You know, look what I did with it. Look who I was. Look how I always tried to help everybody that I came in contact, you know. And so I don't got no fear there. And that should be worth something, is that I'm not quitting even though I'm not afraid to quit. I'm getting emotional and shit. What's that about? I don't know. I think I was thinking about my brother. Um, but yeah, I'm never really interested in having a big viewership. But if you think about it, it's like, what impact, even if it has impact on just you, person A. I ain't gonna name off names, though I know some of your names that are watching this. I'm not gonna name off names, but even if I have like a positive impact on just you, that should be good enough, you know. But having gone through all the suffering and all the things that I've gone through, it's like I don't want to be like, I'm not interested. I was never interested in a lot of attention or uh, the idea of actually celebrity and any kind of celebrity or 15 minutes of fame is just horrifying to me anyway. Like, that just comes from when I was a kid. I didn't want good attention, or I didn't want bad attention. I just want to be left alone. And that's why, like, I never did um, these video type things until it became a matter of survival, until I was caught up in the benzo thing on a regular basis. Just like a matter of survival. But I guess if I want to make a document, I like You Can Do It Too type of document where, like, you know, I got an autonomic disease and I got all this stuff happen to me and I still managed to do it. And it's like, that means that you can do it too, you know. I suppose I should want a lot of people to watch that. I don't know. I think I'm pretty well done talking. And, yeah. But, yeah, I don't have a closer. I rarely do. Uh, just when you have a bad day, man, just think of me. It's like, that dude, he seems like his good days are rarer than hen's teeth. Days where he's like feeling good. Even like he hangs in there. That's, I guess, I don't like I said, man, you never want to be referred to as inspirational. But if it's useful to people, I guess I could try to do that, you know. Because if you're referred to as inspirational, that means, man, you are fucked up or some fucked up things are happening in your life. And I qualify on both those counts. And so that's like being called inspirational. Not something you ever want to be called, but if it's useful to other people, that's what I want to be, of course, is useful to other people. But now I'm definitely drifting into redundancy. And yeah, I guess that's what I have to do. I feel like it's a poor excuse for a video, but it is what it is. Um, anyways, you, that one person that I'm talking to right now, uh, I always think of like when I'm talking on here, I know I'm talking to more than one person, though my viewership is wee small. Um, yeah, I want you to have a good day, and I want you to have enjoyed or found something in this that was worthwhile. And if you manage to do that, you can call me inspirational if you want to. Or you can call me an entertaining train wreck. Whatever, you know. Yeah, whether I'd rather people laugh with me, of course, but as long as they're laughing, and I'd rather people feel um, inspired rather than like, man, at least I ain't that song, bitch. But if it makes you feel good, it makes you feel good. That's that's kind of what I shoot for when I do these things. And that is the last of the coffee and the last of the words you're going to hear from me today. Besides, goodbye.